Hello, beautiful. Welcome back into another video. And today we're going to talk about some good color grading. I'm going to give you some fucking solid advice. If you're looking for 5 tips on how to make your glow more cinematic, you can go straight out to another video because we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about real shit right here. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Giuseppe. I started off as a broke videographer. I used to make music videos years ago, and after shooting some videos, I realized that I was lacking in color grading. So I went out to YouTube, and I actually looked for guides like this one that I'm doing today and found nothing. So that was a really bad experience that I had. And but eventually through the years, I actually got good at grading, and I realized that I like grading more than I like producing videos. So that's when I decided to become a colorist. Now, a colorist is somebody that gets brought onto production just to color grade what was shot. You have colorists basically that work on movies, commercials, music videos, essentially everything that has a higher budget than $2,000 in production usually has a colorist involved. That's usually how it goes. And I liked solving the problems that a colorist might encounter more than I liked solving the ones that a videographer might encounter. So that's why I chose this path. So I'm back here right now because I realized that through the years I've actually encountered so many problems. Like, I've been trying to make this work as the color grading thing. I've been trying to make it work for years, man. It's been 5 years since I've started this journey, and I've encountered, bro, so many bullshit problems. So I've done so many mistakes, so many things have gone wrong, and I've actually realized that I've got such a lot of things that I can share with you guys that I'm actually starting that I actually want to do like a full guide on. So that's why we're here basically. So in this video, bro, just go grab a cup of tea, man, get yourself comfortable because we're gonna be here for a long time, and I'm gonna go deep. If you're here for some fucking deep, real value, no bullshit, okay. If you're not, if you just want like a quick plug-in, quick fix, get the fuck out of here, man. All right. So no BS color grading guide. First of all, I wanna clarify who is this for, because this is not as straightforward as you might guess, and I'm gonna tell you. So color grading, um, first of all, there's many layers to it. Okay, this guide is for videographers, people that want to get their grading to their next level. Yeah, you might be a colorist, you might be a cinematographer. Yeah, there's some value in this because I'm gonna go real deep. Okay, but this guide is aimed for videographers, people that shoot their own footage and they want to learn how to make it look good. That's who this guide is for. So if you're this type of person, yes, keep watching. If you're not, yeah, maybe keep watching it. You might get some value from it. Okay. So now that we got this out of the way, let's just go ahead. So I want to get something straight. What do you think we're doing when we color grade? Think about it. Okay. Why are we on a whiteboard? You might be thinking, bro, what the fuck? We want to learn color grading. We want to have like graphs. I want to get like exposure and stuff. Why are we even on this fucking whiteboard? Because we need to talk about concepts. Do you really realize that on YouTube, everybody talks about execute? Let me type this correctly, man. Everybody talks about execution while nobody talks about concepts. Have you realized that? Like, everybody tells you, okay, you should do it like this, you should lift your gamma, bring down the exposure, you should do this and that, but nobody really talks about why. A lot of the time, like, have you seen those Instagram reels that have been popping off recently? Like, there's some guy and it's a recording of himself or something that he shot. I see a lot of videographers doing this because color grading is really popular right now. So it's a guy, maybe it's footage that he shot of himself, or maybe it's for a client, maybe some work that he's done, and it's like this video of him, and him or whatever he shot basically with a slide with the image wipe that goes from left to right, and it's the power of color grading basically, and it's just him maybe applying a tint, maybe with a little more contrast, and to the peasants like to the people outside of this world it looks absolutely fire. But I'm gonna go ahead and tell you it's not. All right, let me get this straight. Grading has been popping off, but nobody tells you why us colorists, why we do the things that we do. And I actually want to tell you why we do the things that we do and how you can do that too. Why you should think about certain things, how to make decisions. Because when you become somebody that just does what he's told, you will never be able to make decisions of your own. Do you realize the importance of what I'm telling you? This, I mean, it's almost unfair that you're getting this advice for free. It's almost unfair. But let's go ahead. So, you don't want to be somebody that just executes. That's why we're not on DaVinci, because I could give less of a fuck about telling you, oh, you gain it should be zero point 0.1 in this scene, and then the other one, see, like this little detail right here, he has 0.05 in this scene. I could give less of a fuck about that. Nobody gives a fuck about it. One of the best compliments that I get is usually that I have a great eye. Fuck my hair today, man. I'm sorry. Hold on. Can I fix it real quick? Okay, done. So one of the best compliments that I get is usually that I have a great eye for atmosphere. And this is a really beautiful compliment because that's what you're aiming for as a colorist. I'm gonna explain everything. I'm just doing a little bit of storytelling to kind of let you know who I am, why you need to trust me. So I always get told that I have a great eye for atmosphere, and you don't get that by just following what you get told to do. Okay, you don't get by just executing this way. Okay, you get that by understanding concepts and understanding why certain things need to be done the way they're done, and then you get good. Then you can build your own art, because color grading is art. We're basically artists. Okay, so let's get started. I want to first talk about I want to talk about what is color grading. What's color grading exactly? Because you need to think about it this way. So, when we go and we color grade something, what is the end goal? Stop. Stop. I told you this was going to get long and this was going to go deep. Like, what is your end goal? Why are you making, like, why are you wasting your time on this footage, man? Because if you don't know what you're doing, you might as well just be doing something else. Maybe what you're doing is actually worse for you than actually not doing anything. So, why are you even color grading? You need to know this because you need to align what you're doing to the purpose of color grading. Now, the purpose of color grading is to make the audience feel something. And this is something that nobody talks about. I mean, you might intrinsically know this. You might know, yeah, of course, Giuseppe. I mean, I know that I should make the audience feel something, but you don't act about it. You don't live as if this were true, because this is true. The way that people actually go around and go about grading is actually this: make things look better than they are. And this can work if you're doing Instagram reels. This can work if you're doing, I don't know, low level, low tier bullshit. But actually, real color grading is about making the audience feel something. And why is this dangerous? This is really dangerous. You might not have realized this yet, but making things look better than they are, always doing that, that's really dangerous. I'm gonna explain that to you. So I always talk about this, and people lose their mind. When you're listen, when you're somebody that is used to making things look better than they are every day, like everything you shoot, you just want to make it look beautiful. If you're somebody that does it because you think that that's what color grading is, do you see why this is useful? Bear with me. If you're somebody like this, you're gonna get used into overgrading and overdoing. Let's get that on the board. Let's go. Sorry. Let's go right here and let's get this on the board. Overgrading. Why is this important? This is important because when you why should you overgrade? Like, why does it happen? It happens because you want to make things look better than they are. And this usually happen because your footage is essentially trash. If it wasn't trash, listen, if it wasn't trash, you wouldn't even see the point in making it look beautiful. Like, you want to make your shit clips, your shit videos look like they're movies, essentially, right? And that's when overgrading comes into play. Now, you can. Listen, you can make your shit videos look like movies. I'm not saying that you can't. I've done it. I learned, like, I know the techniques, I know how to do it. It's possible. If you're really good, you can do it. That's why a colorist gets hired. It's not the only reason. I would say it's like one of the worst reasons to get hired as a colorist is just to make trash look good. It's way deeper than that. I'm gonna go over it. But this shouldn't be your sole purpose for grading. Why? Why? I told you like why you do it, but Giuseppe, why the fuck? Why are you telling me? Why am I wasted? We're wasted like 11 minutes of your time. Why overgrading? Why is so dangerous? Because when you overgrade, you get used to make trash into shiny trash. Because you're not actually like, if you shoot something that looks bad, chances are 90% of the time it's still going to look bad even if you add color grading to it. I've had clients that have hired me because they had trash footage, and they were really like amateur productions, and like it was lit improperly. Like they had rooms lit with red RGB lights, and they were expecting some sort of magic. They hired me because of that. And what they found out was that even when you hire a pro colorist, you can't always make trash into movies. Usually trash turns into shiny trash, and that's it. Now, why is this dangerous though? This is dangerous because when you're used to make trash look like shiny trash, when you actually get that big, good motherfucking project, guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna overgrade it and you're gonna kill it. When you work on something that is actually shot well, listen, I know you learned grading just like me because you realize that you suck at what you do. I know. I know that you learned grading, that you want to learn grading because nobody's taught you. If you're still in this video, nobody's really taught you how to grade well. And I know that you want to learn about grading because of this reason, because you suck essentially. But if you get used to seeing grading just as a crutch because your projects are trash, when you actually get good, grading will be your downfall. You want to be the guy that grades his footage. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe you might be a fucking filmmaker. You've got a short film and you don't have budget for a colorist. Good. Grade it on your own. I'm all for it. I'm a colorist. I'd love to get hired for it, but fuck it, man. Grade it on your own. I don't give a shit. But you need to know about the danger of these bad habits. Is that clear? Because when you actually will get good, when you actually get that project, you will see that this is going to happen. Overgrading, you'll lose the client. I have this story. So I had a really let me move this out of the way. Actually, I had this really big client, and we needed to get a commercial done for this big client. So it was commercial, big brand, big opportunity for me. Up until that point, I was still a videographer, and I had learned grading. I was like 1 year 1 year into what the fuck? Sorry, 1 year into grading. I'm sorry if my I told you we're gonna be here for a long time. Yeah, I had this big client as a colorist. Okay, but I was still a videographer at that point. I wanted to become a full time colorist. I was not yet a full time remote colorist, but I wanted to be. Now, I had like 1 year of experience because by the bulk of my experience, I gained that because I shot my own projects. If you're a filmmaker or a videographer, you're gonna get a fuck ton of experience because you shoot your own projects. You know what can look good and what can look bad, even if you add color grading to it. So listen, I had this big client. Now, at that time, I was used since I was still broke. I was used on recording on my Sony Alpha 6400, and this bad bitch usually shoots S-Log3, but it shoots 8-bit S-Log3, which is gradable. I have done a few videos about it, but it's a bitch to grade essentially. Like you have little room for error, and a lot of things are just weird, man. Doesn't If you crank up the ISO, you know how Sony's are really everybody talks about low light with Sony's. Fuck that low light bullshit. If you actually care about your footage, you'll find out that if you crank up the ISO, Sony's are good just because they have good internal noise reduction and it looks good. It keeps looking good. But if you actually crank up the noise, you'll realize that usually skin tones fall apart, I'd say at around ISO 3200. They start to fall apart. They get magenta as fuck or green or whatever they get to. So don't listen to that advice. Don't listen to they're not that beautiful in low light as you might have as people have told you basically. And what happened? So since this is a trash setup, this is still trash. You can make it into shiny trash, but this is still trash, a trash setup. I was used to, guess what, overgrading my footage. Now, the color grading techniques that I had developed were the ones that I had been told that were good. So you had the usual fucking gurus telling you about tint, telling you about max your scopes, bro, telling you about all that bullshit, which doesn't work. It's just general advice that you don't really want to hear. You can't call yourself a colorist if this is what you're following. But that was what I had learned in that 1 year of experience, and it was kind of working. When you're a videographer, nobody's really gonna get to you, and nobody's really gonna tell you, "Hey, this footage actually sucks," because but nobody knows better. I mean, your client might be a pizza place, and you're doing reels for the pizza place. They're not gonna know that your footage is trash. They're gonna see the colors. It's gonna look kind of decent, and they're gonna roll with it. But I'm right here to tell you that you suck because you do suck. So listen, I was used to overgrading and I had this big client. And essentially what happened is that I overgraded the commercial. And I overgraded the commercial. I sent them, I did like, it was they had this really clean, really beautifully shot commercial with actors. Bro, it was a big deal. And they had these references which had a kind of a modern orange and teal palette. What I didn't realize is that the grade was actually very soft, very simple. But I didn't know that. I just went over there and I wanted to create what they had in the references in the grade. Why am I saying this? So the references that they gave me, they didn't match what they actually shot. Now, they weren't expecting for me to actually match it. They weren't expecting this. I was. I was expecting that. Since they had different lighting and they had lighting with color, it was like RGB lighting with orange and teal. I thought I need to create this orange and teal palette in my grading like tint orange and teal, whatever, you get the point, right? So I essentially overgraded, added a fuck ton of tint, and it all became like this one, like the reference had pretty like neutral shadows, neutral highlights. It just where it was lit with orange tones, it was orange. When it was lit with teal tones, it was teal. But it was very simple. Like the grade was really soft on the footage. What I did was the opposite. I thought I needed to chase this thing because I didn't know better, and I was used to overgrading because since I shot trash with a trash setup, I was used to relying on grading as a crutch because I viewed grading wrong. Do you see? This is gonna cost you this. In this big client, I lost it because of that job. They hated the grade that I sent them. They called me, they were angry. I'm not telling, I'm serious. I'm very serious with you. I lost, I'd say, a year, between a year and a year and a half of experience. Like, I would have gained like exponential experience through this opportunity because it would have opened other doors, and I lost it because of this experience. So, this is the first concept. When we grade, so why did I spend 20 minutes talking about this? Because when we grade, we want to make the audience, let me actually delete this. We want to make the audience feel something. We don't need to go on this rabbit hole of making things look better than they are. See, why is this the same thing? Like, see like the link, because when you try to make things look better than they are, you essentially start to getting that orange and teal like grading tint bullshit when there's no orange and teal at all. The actual grade for the reference was very soft, like neutral shadows, neutral everything. Like I don't remember it exactly, but I know it was like a clean commercial look basically. And when you get so fucking tunnel visioned on making things look better than they are, you're gonna end up exactly where I was. And I want to keep you from doing that mistake. This is gonna cost you a lot, trust me. You might not even be at the point where you might have a big client you need to really do well. But when that happens to you, if you're not brain dead, that's going to eventually happen to you. When that happens to you, you need to know better. So you need to make the audience feel something. And okay, now we know what grading is actually about, but how do we color grade? Okay, we talked about what color grading is. Now I want to talk about, hold up. Now I want to talk about how to actually color grade. Okay, you're going to talk about it. So think, what are we doing when we color grade? What are we doing? We're essentially changing the way that the light was shot. Not the way it was shot, but the way it's being represented right now. So when we're color grading, we're actually messing with the light that our camera got, our sensor got, basically. And what does this mean? Why am I taking like such a large path to talk about how to color grade? Because you need to chill the fuck out when you go to DaVinci. Don't be a stupid ass motherfucker that goes to DaVinci and stresses the fuck out about color grading. Chill. There's few things that you need to do. A great colorist, you'll never get complimented because you got 20 nodes in your fucking node tree. You get complimented because you have great eye for atmosphere. Okay? So, how do you grade? Well, what is grading? We're just shaping light. And what does this mean? Let's deconstruct this more. When you shape light, you're actually just changing brightness of things and color of things. I've told you. This is the secret, bro. Do you realize how simple this is? Do you realize it? We're changing the brightness of things and the color of things. And why do I deconstruct this? Because on YouTube, you'll see all these fucking tutorials, all these bullshit videos. They tell you about this technique and this technique and this thing. Bro, open DaVinci. Open DaVinci for yourself and look at how many tools you've got there. What do they actually fucking do? They change the brightness of things and the color of things. That's it. That's what you want to do. You want to become a great colorist, learn how to change the brightness of things and the color of things. And listen, becoming a good colorist isn't about knowing how to do that. It's about knowing when to do that actually. You want to know when you want to change the brightness of something and when you don't want to change the brightness of something. And why? Like, how should you know? Okay, so now practically, how should you know when to change the brightness of something and when to change the color of something? You know that based on, guess what, motherfucker? What you want the audience to feel, you piece of shit. Do you see this? This is linked. Stupid ass. And you wanted to click off this video. Look at yourself. Ignorant motherfucker. So, you basically need to ask yourself what you want the audience to feel, and then you go on and decide how bright things should be and how colorful, like what color things should be. And I'm going to tell you about some concepts. So, the brightness of things, you can deconstruct this in exposure, which can be overall exposure or micro exposure, and you have contrast. Okay, so I'm basically, now we're getting practical. So when I start a grade, usually this is the practical advice really in the video. Like, if you actually want to go to DaVinci right now and you want to grade right fucking now in this moment, this is what you do. First you need to convert your footage. Don't be one of those weirdos that just converts the footage by eye. Like, you get log and you go about it and you just up the contrast and then you saturate it. Don't be one of those fucking weirdos. If you don't know any better, bro, I have a guide on my channel. I might link it up right here on whatever, man. I'll just have like the card, or just go look at it for yourself. I have a color grading guide where I talk about why you should convert your footage and how to do that. Don't be one of those weirdos that still says, "Oh, you can just up the contrast, up the exposure, and you're done." No, you're not done. You need to convert your footage properly. If you don't convert your footage properly, you're gonna have issues of inconsistencies. You can't grade with that in mind. You can't. You just can't. Don't do it, man. It's gonna cost you even more than that thing that I've just talked about has costed me. Okay, don't do it. So what I usually do when I'm in DaVinci, first step, you obviously convert. I'm gonna put it right here because you need to convert. And I mean, you want to convert with CST, usually with the color space transform. After you convert your footage, you want to go and you want to adjust the exposure and contrast. Now I'm gonna give you a fucking $1,000,000 tip. I mean, you deserve this because you've watched 30 minutes of me talking shit to your face, so you actually kind of deserve this. Oh, by the way, if you're getting value from this, I want to just push my paid program to you because you might like it. I'm gonna do like more no bullshit guys like this one, and we're actually gonna go on DaVinci and shit like that. And I mean, think about the value that I'm giving you in this video on YouTube. And right now, it isn't even monetized yet, so this is actually for real fucking, like, it's free. This is free value. Think about the value I'm giving you for free, and think about how much value it's going to be in the paid program. I'm building it as I speak. Um, it's gonna be cheap. It's gonna be priced for value, man. It's gonna be very affordable. Um, so if you're actually serious, I mean, I always get asked to do one-to-one coaching. I might actually start to decline because this is going to be such a better offer, because everything I know is going to be packed inside this paid program. And it's going to be like an online school type of thing with live feedback, practice foot. Bro, I'm going to give. I can't show it to you right. I have hard drives of footage shot both on cinema cameras Bro, you're gonna work on cinema. You wanna see what working on a cinema camera is like? Get inside the paid program. Both on cinema cameras, both amateur footage, the amateur footage that I shot, you're gonna see how I was able to grade it, and you can try yourself to see, whoa, this is actually possible. I can actually push this to this limit. So it's gonna be a fucking steal, man. And if you're getting value, know that I'm building it. Um, I don't know if it's gonna be ready by the time I publish this video. I don't know when this is gonna be published, but if you're watching this somewhere in the future, I would just go check the description if I were you, and go check if the link is already live. It's gonna be like the first link in the description. It's gonna be really easy to find. If you see nothing, it's still not live. So just subscribe so that you get notified when I finally release the paid program. And yeah, so let's keep going. So convert with the CST. Then you need to, what I usually do is I go about and decide exposure and contrast. Now, I wanted to give you a tip, a beautiful tip. This comes from the audio engineering world. So what I actually didn't tell you before is that I used to make music when I was very, very young. I'm talking about 15, 16. And I was broke. My parents couldn't afford time in the studio. I started off as a videographer because I couldn't afford my own music videos and I didn't have a job. So I was very broke. I'm one of those self-made guys, okay? That's why I'm so fucking cool. And that's why I know this shit. Because I actually go read books. I actually go study the fucking manual. I go there and I test it. That's why I'm the way I am. That's why I'm giving you this value, because I know shit. Okay. So when you I used this microphone that I'm using right now. This was part of my home studio. Okay, I used to mix and master my own songs, and they sounded fucking cool. Like people used to pay me to do that shit in my town. Okay, how cool that is. So one of the tricks that you would use when you went on about mixing and mastering your song, when you wanted to, so there's a lot of elements in a song, right? You have voice, then you have the beat, then you have, and in the beat you have, maybe like in the voice you have the lead vocal, then you have like ad libs, where they're like the rapper says yeah, yeah, fuck yeah, it says that shit. You have maybe second vocals on top of the lead vocal, whatever, bro. And you have different elements from the beat, right? You have drums, bass, guitar, piano, whatever you're working with. So usually what happens when you're mixing a song is you can't really tell if the volume of something is the way you want it to be. You get confused. Kind of like in grading, you might get confused about the exposure. Like, is it really the way I want it to be? Is the contrast right? I don't know. Do I really like the contrast? Maybe this could feel a little different. Maybe this could feel like that. And this is something that I know pros do, but nobody's actually going to tell you this. This is always going to be locked behind a paywall. This is always going to be, I'm going to give it to you here for free. So in the audio world, what you usually do, the trick is you put everything in mono when you want to listen to its volume. When you want to know, like, is this too much, or should I bring it up, or should I bring it down? You put everything in mono. And if you actually come from the mixing space, if you have ever tried to have a career in that thing, you're gonna start nodding your head. You're gonna say, oh fuck, man, this guy knows what he talks about, because this is deep shit. You may not, bro, you might be watching this video thinking, what the fuck is this guy talking about? If you actually have a few brain cells working in you right now, you're going to realize that this is real deep value. Holy fucking shit. I'm like exposing the industry secrets. So the mono trick, I applied that to my color grading. Do you know what I do when you really want to get serious about your contrast? You know, real pros are going to start taking notes right now. I'm telling you that, like, this is proprietary. I didn't learn this from a YouTube tutorial. I didn't see this anywhere. There's probably some guy somewhere teaching this in a paid class with like you gotta pay 2,000 to get that. I'm gonna give it to you here for free. What I do when I need to go about exposure and contrast, I turn everything black and white. Is this the way you type it? I guess it is. You turn everything black and white. You remove, fuck, you remove color out of the equation. Because, do you remember? Like, we're just working on the brightness of things and the color of things. Do you see why I teach the way I do? Do you not appreciate the fucking chain of thought that I've put into this? Do you not appreciate this, you motherfucker? You're about to click off of this video. So, why would you contaminate this process, the exposure and contrast, with the color of things if you're actually just worrying about the exposure and contrast of things? Why would you do that? So when I go to DaVinci, I don't always do this. Like if there's a very quick turnaround, or if I'm not paid enough to care about it that much, I actually might not do this because I have a great eye by now, and I know how things go. Like you can kind of do this in your head how things should look. You know how they should look. But if you want to go, like if you want to be autistic about it, if you want to be really precise, really go all in about it, what you want to do is make everything black and white. You basically have like your you have your CST right here. There's different methods. Actually, want to have a CST in the beginning and then a CST in the end. I'm going to teach this in another video. There's tons of tutorials about this. This is nothing special, but I'm still going to talk about it in another video, because I'm going to talk about my specific workflow. I'm going to teach you this, but for now, just stick to this. CST at the end, where you convert your shitty S log, whatever you're using, and you convert it to, let's say, gamma 2.4, which is what everybody on YouTube says. I actually should suggest for most use cases 2.2, actually. I don't know why I put a point there. But CST at the end. Then you have your exposure. Fuck me. Exposure. Is that right? Yeah. I'm fucking dyslexic. No, I'm not. You have exposure. Then I usually have a contrast node where I just adjust the contrast. And then I go on about my very little grading thing. You want to have the black and white node at the end of your node tree. So after your color space transform, you actually want to have the black and white node. And it's going to look like this. You just get a new node, black and white. And after the black and white node, like in this node, you just go on your sat and you get it to 0. That's it. While you do this. So you're actually going to do it like you do the CST. Second, you get another node for the black and white. Then you go on about exposure and contrast. After you work on your contrast, like what does this mean? I suggest when you I sometimes I need to remind myself that you're trash at color grading and I need to explain things very deep because you're not going to know how to do them. So, exposure, you want to fix that by going in the HDR color wheels and you want to go on the global, and there's like a color wheel like offset. You know, offset? Everybody talks about fucking offset. No, don't use offset. Bullshit. Go watch my other tutorial. I'll show you exactly why offset sucks. HDR wheels, global, they're close to the primary's color wheels. If you're not blind, you're gonna find them. HDR color wheels, global. Then you go and you adjust the exposure of that wheel, and that's gonna act kinda. It's not. Should be. Our fuck. My Italian is starting to come out. I'm getting pissed because you don't understand. I'm talking to a screen. Bro, HDR wheels. If you convert your footage, they're going to work properly. If you don't convert your footage, they're not going to work properly. That's one of the reasons why you need to convert your footage, because they are color space and gamma aware. Okay? When you tell it what log you use, let's say, they know like mathematically what one stop of exposure should look like. Do you understand that? So that's why you should always convert your footage. So you go on about exposure, HDR, global wheels, okay. Contrast, I usually like to use my primaries. Like, I need to test out more things, but at this point, like, I've done a lot of grades, and I always use my primaries. There's weirdos that use the curves, then they're fucking maniacs. You can get like 90% done with your primaries in the contrast node. I like to differentiate between these two. Like, I don't use primaries to fix my exposure. That's fucking, you might be a psychopath. It's not fixing the exposure. You're messing with contrast. If you touch your gain, you're messing with contrast. So I usually go around exposure, contrast. Then if the footage is shot like badly, I didn't remember to say this in another video because it is so obvious to me, but I need to say this. After I work on exposure and contrast, I actually make a node before exposure for white balance. I'm going to talk about why white balance needs to come before exposure and contrast. Don't listen to bullshit guides that say that this can come after. Don't ever fucking. I'm going to slap you. No, 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 not slap. I'm going to punch you. If you put your white balance after contrast, you don't know how to grade. You don't know how to grade. Usually white balance comes before exposure, and you want to get that before exposure, but I actually do this after I've messed with my contrast. I might actually do this before white black and white, of course, bro. If the image, like, when you go to work on the white balance, you actually turn off, like, you delete this node. Okay, think with your head. You can't work on white balance with the node still active. But at that point, we have already worked on exposure and contrast. We have already ended the brightness of things part of color grading. Do you understand that? Do you understand why I do exposure and contrast before white balance? Because I have like an order of execution. Because first I worry about the brightness of things. So exposure, contrast. Let's see, do I like this? Does it make me feel good about it? Is this what I think the audience should feel? And then after you do that, you delete the bullshit black and white node, and you get the white balance one, and you get it up and running before exposure and contrast. This is gonna come in handy. You always, hey, if I see one of you motherfuckers putting this after the exposure and contrast, you're gonna slap so hard. I'm joking. Of course, I'm joking, man. Don't take everything I say too seriously, but the order of nodes should be this. So white balance before exposure, contrast. Then after contrast, I usually get my. We're working on what? Again, we're working on the color of things. So since we are working on the, oh shit, okay. Since we're work. Okay, nice. Somebody should teach me how to do this, man. While I teach you how to grade, you should teach me how to do this better. So while we work on the color of things, we keep working on, guess what? The color of things. Whoa, bro, you're so smart. I mean, you're getting better. You're getting better at grading. Look at yourself. So I actually mess with my saturation at this point. Um, like, for the longest time I didn't even touch saturation, but it's almost like should be like a brain dead thing that you do. Like every grade I want you, hold on, okay, every grade I want you to go and look at your saturation, at least just play with the fucking knob. Okay, there's better ways to go about saturation, but at least play with the knob. Push it towards the right, see that the are things blowing up. Push it towards the left. Do I like it more if it's desaturated? Maybe you want to desat the whole image. I mean, that's something that you can do. I do it for my videos. Like if you go look at the, I have, bro, go watch the fucking tutorial, man. Don't let me say it again. I mean, first keep watching this video. Then I have like a video where I really go on DaVinci and I walk the walk, because now I'm talking the talk, but I'm gonna walk the walk in that video. I already did, and you see me doing this exact thing. So I desaturate a lot of things in my videos, because listen, grading is not just about adding things. Like when you mess with the brightness, you're not just making things brighter, right? Like, do you agree with that? We're not just upping exposure and up in contrast. Don't be fucking brain dead. You can't lower your contrast. You absolutely can't. Like for my videos, like when I'm not talking in this cave, I usually and they're recorded properly. Like I usually lower the contrast. Like I lift my shadows. Do you realize that? Because I want things to feel more airy, hopeful, and it's chill. Talk to me, bro. Talk to me. See, you don't always need this strong contrast. Like, don't be brain dead. Don't be brain dead. So you can't subtract things. Grading is about subtracting what you don't want in your footage. Stop being an idiot, man. You don't grading. It's not just about adding. Okay, that's it. So you might want to make your image darker, as you might want to make your image less contrasty, as you might want to make your image less saturated. Now you might say, okay, Giuseppe, I got you. I got you. Okay, you're really smart. You know your shit. But what if I want to keep something saturated and I want to keep some other things desaturated? Well, that's when you actually desaturate just some parts of the image. And I usually do that in a parallel node. You're going to see me in the tutorial. So you're going to have like you can go about it a few different ways. The best way that I'm using right now, that I think is it's the best way, what I'm liking most is this. You're gonna have a layer mixer here. It's done automatically. Okay, go watch my tutorial. I show you how to do this. Okay, this is just words. If you want to see how to do it in action, go watch the tutorial. You want to have your HSL, and HSL just curves for color, so it's hue versus saturation, saturation versus saturation, luminance versus saturation. Go watch my tutorial to see what I'm talking about. If you don't know this stuff, go watch my tutorial. And this is where I also have a tint. This is like parallel nodes, by the way. They need to be parallel. They need to be parallel because they do not need to be influenced by what's going on before them, by the contrast and the exposure. So usually you want to have them in parallel. The signal needs to come from the white balance, and the signal needs to come from the white balance. If you're a weirdo and you're not fixing your white balance like I did in my tutorial, like if you don't need to fix white, if it's really shot properly, you don't even need this node. Fuck you. If you don't have this node, there's like the beginning of the signal in DaVinci. There's like a little button. These nodes can just come. Their signal can just come from the source. Okay, so don't stress about it. So I usually, like, after I work on my light, I work on my color. And that's when I mess with HSL and tint. Now, these two don't necessarily have to be parallel to one another. You can also have them. You can also have like tint right here. I would never, ever go tint before HSL. I don't like that shit. So I would always go HSL. Always, bro, don't use tint that much. Man, I see all these motherfuckers, man. They're using tint so much, man. Too much. Too much. Go look at your HSL, man. Is there really no way that you can get a fucking, I don't know, whatever shit is trending these days? Like, is there really no way you can get orange and teal going in your video without touching a fucking tint? I'm sure there is a way by changing some color, some weird color in your footage. Anyways, HSL, then you can get your little fancy tint going, and that's it basically. You can, with this node, you can desaturate certain parts of the image and still keep something else saturated with this. So I have my tutorial for it, man. Don't get me tired. There's another video where I do this in front of you. This is just conceptual. Okay, now this is it, man. Now you're gonna see a bunch of weirdos talking about film emulation, and I love it. I love film. I love everything about it. It looks beautiful, and it looks beautiful because digital cameras basically interpret colors differently from film cameras, and I want to talk to you about that. The video is almost, like, we're almost done, but I still want to say something about it. So Glow, halation, grain. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Slap you. But like, for me, give yourself a slap because, um, I mean, no, it's not even your fault. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm being so harsh to you. We need to tell the fucking preset pirates to go fuck themselves, um, because they have taught you that loads of glow and loads of halation and loads of grain are good. They're not. Oh, by the way, if you need to get noise reduction in your footage, you can do that here. You can get noise reduction, or if you really messed up your grade, or if you're really pushing it, you can actually do that. You can do it after like this layer mixer. So here in between saturation and whatever the fuck you've got going on here, or you can actually have it after saturation, and you can do it before the CST. Okay. If you need to fix anything, anything weird in your footage, like if you need to have power windows masks, you do it after saturation. Okay, it's getting too complex, man. I gotta keep this simple for the people that don't know anything about grading. Okay, I'm gonna get the paid program, bro. It's gonna be so much more deep than this. Realize how much value I'm giving you. Get inside the paid program, bro. How many times do I gotta tell you before you actually take action, man? So glow, halation, and grain. Glow, halation, and grain. Glow looks absolutely trash. Don't use it. Don't use glow. I used to, like, I remember when I was a videographer, I bragged to my clients. I actually told my clients, hey, I'm also a colorist, right? So if you work with me, if you book me for your video, you're actually gonna get like top tier colors in your video. It's gonna look so good. And they looked so trash. Let me tell you, they looked so trash because, like a brain dead fucking maniac psychopath, I kept adding glow to my videos. Now, go watch a movie, you weirdo. Do you see the same amount of glow that these motherfuckers are telling you to put in your videos? No, you don't. No, you don't. And you don't see that because nobody that actually works as a colorist does it, because it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. These are those effects that you add when when you want to call your video cinematic without even knowing what the fuck it means, and you add glow, halation, and grain just to feel a little better about your, guess what? Where is it? About your shiny trash. It all comes down to it, bro. Get your. Do you understand? It's all linked. Oh man, look at this mess. So glow, halation, and grain. Glow sucks. Never use it. I mean, sometimes you can use it. I see so many guys that try to grade, and even like big guys that grade that use glow. Bro, it looks so trash, bro. I cringe when I see glow. Halation, same thing. I used to use it a lot when I wanted to do film print emulation. You gotta realize that film doesn't actually have as much glow and halation as you think it does. Like, there's still, go watch something from Tarantino. There's like everything he shoots, I guess, should be on film. Go watch it. There's not actually that much glow and halation because film is, it's not just this. Film is so much more than that. Don't just think that adding glow and halation is gonna make your video look like a film. Same thing as grain. I mean, I like grain actually. I'm gonna teach you another trick. So if you're working, like, you can get grain. Usually people are gonna put all these things at the end, like after your CST, or they're gonna try to put them before. I would actually say grain needs to be, should be right around, where do you put it actually? You can put it close to your white balance. You can put it before, you can put it after. No real difference. What matters is that you put it before your exposure. Actually, no. Actually, I would put it before the white balance, because if you get HSL and tint from the white balance, they still need to have grain applied to them. So grain needs to come before white balance. You need to have grain before white balance, because if it was actual film and you graded I have graded film. I know how film works. Take it from somebody who's seen it. Grain actually gets worked on when you grade a film, because of course it's baked in the footage, so it makes sense to have that as like the first thing. Glow and halation, they also should be baked in. They're a little harder to work with, but there's complex node trees when you can get them at the beginning. You can do that. So grain, there's a beautiful trick that I can teach you. So let's say you're working with your shitty Alpha 6400. Man, anything below an FX6, anything below an FX6, it's still trash. I mean, you might be right here. I have talked shit about the A6400, and you might be sitting here with your bullshit FX3 thinking that you've got such a killer setup. Man, FX3 is really cringe. I've worked, I know like what looks good and what looks bad. The FX3 still sucks. You might call it a cinema camera. It's not a cinema camera. It's fucking video camera, bro. Records 10-bit, whatever, man. Not that great. Still, you're still working on shiny trash with your FX3. Once you get to an FX6, I actually like the footage. FX3, you can work on it. You can call yourself a filmmaker, but it's still trash. Anyways, when you work on your little FX3 or 6400 setup, you might notice that if you push your grain like a maniac, like right here, you might notice artifacts. Maybe you have pushed your ISO too much in your puny 6400. Maybe you've done the same thing in your FX3. And what happens is that since these bullshit cameras record compressed footage, you have H.264 or H.265 compression. You're gonna get compression artifacts, even if you go and record fucking raw from your FX3, even if you record whatever, bro, it's still gonna have artifact. It's not a cinema camera, okay? It's not the sensor. Just it ain't it, pal. You're not one of them, okay? Stop bullshitting yourself. It's still a mirrorless camera, okay? So you might get artifacts, and usually grain is a great way of adding. You're working with noise reduction, right? Like you see how much this footage, like this camera, sucks on my MacBook. Okay, if you wanna elude the viewer into believing that you had more detail than what is actually available, so you go on and you add grain, okay? Because grain adds texture, and when you add texture, you're actually you can't tell if there is detail or there isn't detail, and you can actually fool people. Also, if you're working on literal trash footage, adding grain will give you that little cinematic edge that you might be looking. It makes the image a little more filmic, because we're used to like our brain, since we watch a lot of content, since we're weirdos, we're all retards. If when you watch movies, you usually see no noise, no digital noise. If you see grain, it's analog grain, and there's a reason why we call grain grain and noise noise. So we're used to grain, and it looks good to the viewer, not because it looks good inherently, but because we're so used to it. So when you add grain to your shiny trash footage, you can make it a little more shiny trash footage. Okay, so yeah, grain, you can use it as fuck. Grain, it's one of those things that you can actually use as a crutch. It can be much more than that. I'm probably gonna shit on people that use it just as a crutch, but just so you know, yeah, you can use grain to make more shiny trash, basically. So yeah, I think we covered everything. I think this is a lot of what there is to know. I'm actually scared that this might be too much for your brain, man. Yeah, I hope you can understand. Anyways, I'm getting kind of tired. I need to go drink a glass of water or something, so I'm actually gonna stop the video here, bro. I actually drop videos every day. I mean, you watch this whole thing, you fucking maniac. I mean, no, no, you're not. I want to shake your hand, man. Thank you. Like, I know I'm pretty aggressive in these videos just because I have fun being this way, but I'm actually a pretty chill guy. So actually, thank you, bro, for watching through this whole video. Um, I get asked if I do one-on-one not questions sessions, but I'm actually thinking I'm going to stop doing them just because I'm working on the paid program and it's actually going to contain so much value. I actually don't care about one-on-one sessions anymore. I just get the fucking program, man. It's you're still gonna talk to me, and it's just gonna be better. I mean, I like these things where I can help like a lot of people. One-on-one sessions, like you book my time, and I can't. I'm only helping you. I want to help like a lot of people. That's why I upload to YouTube as well, and not run some paid ads, and that's it for the program. So yeah, subscribe because I drop still like if you're that broke that you can't afford the paid program, it's gonna be very affordable, man. But if you're that cheap, yes, still keep watching the videos. I'm still gonna drop free value content, and yeah, I drop daily. I talk about the things that nobody tells you about grading, and as you see, I give you real value. And yeah, if you like this, like again, think about how much you're gonna get when you join the paid program. So I suggest you really go looking for that in the description. Okay, go look for it in the description. I'm gonna put things like these. We're gonna go deep about it. I'm gonna teach you how I did grades, and yeah, if you want to learn how to grade exactly like me to have those spectacular looking images, actually, yeah, you're gonna get all of that inside my paid program. So yeah, subscribe. Don't be a preset pirate. Don't be one of those people that just slaps a lot on top of their footage. Don't be one of those guys. Don't be a weirdo. Be a color king. Learn how to actually grade for real. Be one of these guys. Okay? Be serious about your thing and know why you're doing the things you are doing. Okay? All right, man. God bless you.